Hi, welcome, and thank you for signing up for our family Destressor mini workshop. I know that things have been very hard over the last couple of years, and Omicron arriving at Christmas has certainly made things more difficult as we all try to balance family and home and school and jobs and clubs and all of the other things. It's stressful, and just as we start to settle into with something that feels a little bit normal, along comes a new challenge that sends us all back and feeling like this is never going to end. And I find that for me, sometimes one of the things I forget is to actually connect and talk about some of those things. So we decided to put together a 3-part mini workshop for families. So this isn't a video that mom will watch and try and do on her own, or dad or grandma or any of the adults. This is something for you to do as a family. And you can include as many family members as you choose, or who are keen to do this with you. And really it's about connecting and having fun and just setting aside that little bit of time that we need. So it's over 3 sessions, and they're each about a half an hour, but you can divide those up however you want. So if you want to do once a week for a half an hour, that's great. If you start and you're having a good time and the kids are like, let's just keep going to the next activity, then you could set aside a Saturday morning maybe and work through the whole thing and just have that time to decompress and connect and talk about what's actually going on for each of you in this time. And I find that often it's a quick, how are you doing? Okay, fine. But really, many people aren't doing so fine. And for our kids, it's really hard to express those words, especially if children have a challenge like a language-based learning disability. Finding those words, being able to identify emotions for many of our kids is challenging. So this is going to give you a framework to do some of that. So let's start with our first session. And our first session is actually going to be an art activity. And all you're going to need is a piece of paper and some markers. And I would put out a whole tub of markers or pencil crayons or whatever you have, so that everybody can choose a color they like. But what we're going to start with is one of my favorite activities, and you'll see another video on YouTube around this one, and it's scribble art. So you're going to just start by thinking about and connecting with how you're feeling right now today. Now, I'm doing this over the Christmas break, so I'm feeling a little bit more relaxed. We don't have all of the pressures of work and chaos so much this week, so a little bit more relaxed. But Omicron is obviously a big concern, and I'm in Prince Edward Island. I've just moved from Ottawa, and even down here, we're finding that the case counts each day feel overwhelming. So I'm going to take a moment with a big breath and then just start, without looking at the page really, to do a little scribble. And there it's my scribble. And then I'm going to choose colors that connect with how I'm feeling. And for me, like I said, I'm feeling overwhelmed. I'm feeling a little bit worried. I'm feeling like just when life was feeling kind of normal, boom, we're right back to not being able to do things. And so I've chosen to do some stuff in blues. I feel a little sad about not being able to see friends, not necessarily being able to come back to Ontario to visit friends. And I've got some browns and some gray, but I also have silver because I'm an optimist, and somewhere in there's going to be a silver lining. So you're going to take time to color in your scribble art. And then as a family, chat a little bit about why you chose those colors. What did those colors mean to you? How did it feel just sitting and doing art? Often when we do art as a group, here's my little silver lining, we start to chat about other things. So you might find conversations come up. If anything is triggering in those conversations, please feel free to stop and have a conversation around that. And hopefully you'll find that you have some fun doing these activities. So enjoy the first one, and we will then move on to the second one. You can stop the video here, but I'm going to just keep the video rolling as I describe what session number 2 will be like. Thanks, have fun. For session 2, you will have been given, when you signed up, a Google Doc, and it has scenarios, all sorts of scenarios that we might face in our day. And you'll take turns drawing a scenario. And if it says school, you would adapt it to work to school, so that they can be parent or child. And you're going to describe how you feel in that scenario. So perhaps you wake up and there's a brand new snowfall. There's 30 centimeters on the ground. How do you feel now? Now, maybe you're 5 and you are so excited because it's a snow day and it's not cold and you have snow. Maybe you're not 5 and you have to drive in it, or you have to shovel it. Or maybe you had a big test at school and you're relieved. And try to think about feeling words beyond happy, mad, sad, glad, those typical ones. Really kind of identify. If you're interested, there's a wonderful resource by a gentleman named Mark Brackett called Permission to Feel. And he has a wonderful chart that you could print out that identifies a broader range of emotions that we can help our kids identify with. And there are no good or bad feelings. So he talks about them more as feelings that sort of uplift and those that feel heavier or kind of weigh us down a little bit more. So thinking more on that spectrum as opposed to good or bad. So have fun with the scenarios. Hopefully they'll bring up lots of good conversations and give you an opportunity to connect and maybe find some humor in what each of us find in different situations, depending on our perspective. Thanks, and have fun with session 2. Session 3 is a little bit different because you're going to have a chance to plan some family time. So what I want you to do is, on a piece of paper, you can write, you could draw, you could do just point forms, you could write a poem if you wanted to. But I want you to plan a family night, morning, afternoon, something that you can do as a family. And then you're going to put these on the fridge. And when you have those moments where you really feel like you need to make your world small and you need to connect, you can pull one of those. Or each week, decide that you're going to do one of these family activities. So if you have snow, maybe your family activity is going to be on a Saturday afternoon to build a huge snow fort and make hot chocolate and sit in the snow fort and have hot chocolate. Maybe it's going for a walk. It could be a favorite family movie with popcorn and your pajamas and just cuddling up on the couch and decompressing. No cell phones, no distractions. In fact, at any point during these activities, I would ask that cell phones not be out. So that's mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, aunts, uncles, and kids, so that we are disconnecting in order to connect. So have fun planning those activities. If you want to share on our Facebook page or under YouTube comments some of the fun things you've done, that would be great. And enjoy. And I hope that our little mini workshop ideas have given you some things to do during these difficult days to find a little bit of enjoyment as a family and find some reasons to laugh and have fun. Thank you so much, and have a great day, morning, evening. Take care.